And we're live and direct.
Hey, we're live.
It's showtime, baby.
Hey. Good evening and welcome to Tony's Pizzeria here in fabulous Hagerstown, located 14224 Pennsylvania Avenue. We are here for Washington County Flag Football Live. We are live from Marty Snook Park here in Hagerstown, Maryland on a rainy Saturday morning, and Top Gun on the field with a pass to Hernandez, who's going down the sideline. Miller on the option, going to keep it up the middle, and a flag pull by CJ Kretzer, who joined the program earlier this week from Warriors. Go. Snap, Miller looks to his right, going to move, fires, caught, touchdown, Top Gun. Virginia Tech, 7:30 ABC. Extra point is up, and it is good. And Top Gun making a statement early on after their loss to TMT last week, has jumped out to a 7-0 lead. And it's running back. Snap, toss left. He's going to take it. And still going. He might score. Yes, he will. Touchdown program. Snap coming. Puller's going to fake. Going to run to his right. Does he have his end zone? Yes, he got it, but he dropped the ball. Was he already? The judge over there says he was across, and Farmer on Top Gun disagrees. Snap to Miller. He's going to fire to the slot. Brenning is going to go, and he's got something. He's still going. He's going.
That's my flag.
He could be going. Still going. And down at the 7-yard line. Snap coming. Kick up. And it is good. And the 24-yard field goal goes through. And Top Gun takes a 10-8 lead. Snap coming. Farmer coming too, the big man. And it's intercepted by Top Gun. The interception, and Top Gun will return it out to the 40-yard line. Here's on the left side. Snap to Miller, rush coming, and it's complete to Brenning, and Brady's got a save. Will he score? No. Stopped, I believe, just short by Boyce. Ocean. Mickey's going to take it himself. Touchdown, Top Gun. Kick up, and it is good. And Top Gun's offense firing on all cylinders as they lead 17-8 here in the second quarter. Coming in the gun. Puller, rush coming. And that's a little close for my liking. And Puller is sacked by Farmer way in the backfield. Snap coming, little high, but Puller caught it. He's going to move around. Still looking, almost sacked. Deep throw. Caught by Carasquillo. Snap to the left to Puller. Puller's going to fake the handoff. And pass to Carasquillo once again. Brandon Carasquillo on the clutch move and the clutch touchdown. Snap, Puller. Fires across, up, and incomplete. Snap, Miller. Moving around. Off the hands, intercepted. Here we go. He might have something. Oh, they got the flag. Smith got the flag. Snap, low. Here comes a rush. Michael got the sack. Snap. And he's going down. Puller sacked again. Snap to the left, Puller. And Michael got him again. Brandon Michael with his third sack of this drive. Snap. Throws. Complete to Lockhart, the big man. And he's got a first down. Second half beginning. Rain is going away. Man in motion is Carasquillo. Pooler's going to step up, and Pooler's going to get a first down. Keenan Pooler showing mobility. Snap to Pooler. Rush coming. And sack. Yes, it is. One running back. Snap. And sack. The big man Farmer again. Back at 3 wide receivers. Snap. Pooler. Looking to his right. Michael coming again. Number 4 by Brandon Michael. Maybe it could be a fit. No, it's off his hands. It's a safety. Again. And Miller's going to get flushed again. He's got to throw it. And intercepted Carasquillo. Quick snap. Pooler fires it deep. Here we go. Batted away. Incomplete. Pass intended for Boyce. Back. Snap. Pooler. Rush coming. The big man. He pulled it, but it's too late and intercepted. And he's still going. See what he can do here. Could he have 6? Nope, he's going to be stopped. Snap. Pooler. Rush coming. Michael, oh, he missed it. But Pooler's getting hit by his own man, and Farmer comes in with the sack. Farmer again. That's number 3, I believe. Is that it? Game over. Top Gun's defensive line, the story of the game. 8 sacks against Pooler in the program, with the one more to end the game. Suitable ending as Top Gun goes 1-1 on the season and defeats the program, who will fall to 0-2, 19-14.
Gentlemen, I know, Tyler, you were there for the game. Don, you officiated it. You guys weren't so much. Can I get your input on what happened, Don, as a referee? What do you think was the biggest factor here for Top Gun's victory?
The biggest, a couple key points. For one, Top Gun was hurting without McKinley. Or I'm sorry, no, excuse me, the program was hurting without McKinley. And also the program keeps bouncing between quarterbacks. They've got to find one, let them get developed with the team, and get some unity and synchrony going on, synchronize all at the same time. Program, can't go to sleep on them. They're just getting better the whole way around. Ricky, I mean, his receivers, just everything is clicking. So we'll see when they come up against another better team and see how they really do.
Okay. Tyler, your input?
I called it.
He did.
I called it.
It's in the film.
Like I said, Top Gun had the potential to keep the game closer than much, many people expected. The rain played a part of it. I mean, but both games that were played in the rain. Ricky went out there and did his thing. He got a couple of pointers on the sideline. Told him, hey, you're winning, run the clock out. They had stopped the program, I think, like 3 times in a row, which, I mean, that's huge for their momentum. Defense had something to be proud of. Offense had something to be proud of. They scored multiple times. They did what they needed to do and held it out and won. So kudos to Ricky Miller in the game.
Absolutely.
We'll see how it goes from here, and hopefully the program picks it up. I know they got to. You win that trophy.
You win the BT trophy. That's one of the things we talked a lot of the top guys with after our game, the championship. We told them that's just kind of a turning point. It's a kind of defining moment for your team, is if you can ride that momentum into the fall.
Absolutely.
It's going to be they're a tough squad. They played us super tough. We didn't expect that. The game between us in the spring was one of, it was a great game. They scared us for a little bit. But, I mean, that's a
They've always had that sneaky
position.
potential.
They're going to be trouble. They were definitely our trap game in the spring. That's for sure.
Yeah, you can't go to sleep on them.
Definitely.
3 receivers, doubles on the left side. High snap. Eisenberg running, fires downfield, complete. Still going? Yes, he is. He's going to have a touchdown. Touchdown, X-Dawgs. That'll be about it. Extra point coming, and it is good. And X-Dawgs, after getting blown out, shut out, and smacked down last year by Broad Axe in the playoffs, have responded by jumping out to a 7-0 lead on the 8-time defending champions. Snap to the right, Gabriel. And pitch to Such. He's got money. First down for Broad X. Snap, Grable. Rush coming. Fires across to Such. And he's got plenty of room. My goodness. Snap, Grable. Gonna take it. Nope, thought he had a pull there. And instead, Broad X gonna run all the way down to the 2 or 3 yard line. Snap. Grable on the option. Pitch to Such. Touchdown, Broad X. And a high snap, dead ball. And the score remains 7-6 in favor of X-Dawgs. Now Nunn's going in motion. Snap. Fakes the pass. Going to take it himself, and he is tackled for a sack. Snap. High again. Eisenberg. Moving around. Fires across. Complete to the little guy. And he's got a first down. 4 receivers. Eisenberg. Whoa. Snap to the right. He took it. He ran with it. And Eisenberg's still going. Matt Eisenberg is going to push his man down. He's going to score. We talked about the injury last season. The knee that took him out for the whole season in the opener. And like I said in the podcast, I don't think he's lost a step. Blowout. Here we go for the extra point. Snap up, and it is good. And X-Dawgs has scored on both their drives to lead 14-6. Shouldn't keys again. Snap. Grable, sack. Yes, sir. Snap, Grable to the left, and pitches in the last second. Such and cycles to not do it. And so that is the reasoning for the cancellation. And a sack. 5 wide, Grable. 3rd and goal. Fires at the keys. Wide open. Burned him. And they're going to get down. Snap. Throws to his left of keys. And he's going to take it on the screen. And flag pulled down. Now it's a 5 wide receiver set. Grable going to run to his right. Looking for Joey. Might have got a sack instead, but here's the ball. The keys bobbed it out. Touchdown, Broad. Snap up. Oh, almost blocked, but good. That was dangerously close. Eisenberg in the gun. Snap very high. Very low it is, I should say. An interception. Snap. Grable. Oh, inside pass to Lee. And Big Mike with a first down. Right in the back. Grable. Fires the keys. Complete. Beautiful catch. And then gets tackled, or flagged down, I should say. Man in motion again. Eisenberg going to fake it. Going to roll to his right. Matt Eisenberg. And Matt Eisenberg is going to get a first down. Here we go. Snap again. And sack. Got him. Snap. Eisenberg takes it. And sacked again. Brought down Tyler Spencer. Rally by Broad X last year. Down 23-20 late in the game to win 27-23. And that might not be good for Grable. Grable's going to drop. And fires it deep to the mid. Oh, he got it! Touchdown, Broad X! To go. Before X-Dawgs came back. And it's almost blocked and good. Snap. Another lob. Eisenberg. Sacked, I believe. Yep. 3 wide receivers. High snap to Eisenberg. And see what he can do. Fires it deep. End zone. Intercepted. Yes. And that'll do it. An interception. Second of the game. And Broad X can let the clock run out.
assist.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
We're going to start with you, Don. You officiated the game.
I actually thought that was going to be a lot closer game than what it was. I thought it was going to be a hard fought battle because every time these two play, they have been playing in the rain.
Yeah,
and it's
every
always
single time.
yeah,
It rains every time.
yeah, and it's usually a real close game. But to your point with Matt, the snaps are coming back kind of fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
That and recognize what we needed to do. The pressure, I think the pressure had a lot to do with it. When you got Matt Ridenour and Wheeler on the line, it's rough.
We did work this offseason. We brought in some guys that are going to help us out in ways that we were, I guess, a little behind the curve. We brought in some depth that's quality, so you're not going to see guys that rotate in and out that are a huge drop off. So guys aren't going to see somebody coming on and say, "Oh, I get a break." They're going to have to work. And one of the things that we're going to try to establish is, like, since I've been in the league, I've had the opportunity and the experience where we've beaten every team except Miller Lite and except the X-Dawgs. So my goal is to have a clean sweep. So building this, what we've built from being 4-6 and 7-2, and from 2-7, even just 2 springs ago, to be in the championship game. We're building to build off that. Like we're not going anywhere. Teams they know who we are, and that's what they're going to get.
I remember where Ruckus was because we joined the league exactly the same year. We did fall 2014, and what I saw on the field from you guys, aside from when you played us, was not very pretty. And honestly, like I said, last spring was the best I had ever seen Ruckus.
And it absolutely was. And I think for the longest time we've had those bits and pieces. We just always needed like one extra piece with the addition of Scotty and Mikey. Like they're what we've been missing. Leadership wise, experience wise, they've definitely come in and they've bought into what we're trying to establish with our team, and then they've helped us to get to where we are now. So a lot of it is on them, and I think having the quarterback that Scotty is, and his track record just in flag football in general is going to benefit us in the long run for sure.
Sure. Yeah. What is any words for your opponent this week, Broadex? Actually, let's hold off until we get the predictions.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting little panel here. This week we will have 12-minute quarters. What this means is you're going to have a shorter game. It can be an advantage. I know. It can be an advantage to some. It allows teams to play possession more. The clock definitely moves a lot faster. Stamina, however, is still important.
Lose a quarter.
Yeah.
We did the math.
Yeah.
The last time it happened, you lose an entire quarter of football.
And that
3 minutes and 4 quarters is 12 minutes, and you're playing 12-minute quarters, you lose a quarter.
And that changed a lot of strategy because
You have to
suddenly,
score quicker and pull it out faster.
Or just hold the ball the whole damn game, get 1 score per half, because it's been done. I mean, I will tell you personally, X-Dawgs and Broadax do it like the best. 12-minute quarters, like Red Knights as well. You get the ball, you milk the clock, you score when you can, pin your opponent. Defense got to make stands, take advantage of every little thing you get. You can't make mistakes. 12-minute quarters, you can't make mistakes.
exactly.
Unless both teams make mistakes, but then that's just sloppy.
Yeah.
So you just can't make mistakes. 12-minute quarters definitely bring out, I would consider, playoff football. That's because every possession matters. You are looking at, well, if we don't get this first down, should we go for it on 4th and get around our opponent, 60 yards to go, or should we just go ahead and punt it, pin them, and make them drive the entire length of the field? I mean, these are the kind of things that definitely pop up in 12-minute quarters, and every little decision matters more.
All right, we'll get to the first game. 9 a.m. kickoff. The program versus the Red Knights.
Woo!
Program 0-3 all time against the Knights. 6-0 loss in the spring of 2016. 25-7 loss in the fall of last year. And this past spring, 20-14. The program, they are in dire need of this victory, in my opinion. They are about to have their 4th consecutive loss in a row. The Red Knights have escaped them in the previous game, but honestly, they have not quite looked the part so far as their first game against the Spartans. The defense seemed fine, offense not so much. The program, they have, what, 30, 40 guys, it seems like, at sideline.
The last couple weeks they've been thin.
That
They
is real
need,
thin.
they need their numbers to show up.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Holiday,
A lot of those-
holiday weekend, too.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of those guys were going both ways last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked out, or the week before, I'm sorry, looked out there and noticed it myself. Was like, you know, programs known for having that big sideline, and it's just not really there. And I don't
When
know.
their full squad shows up to your exact point, that's
Yeah.
when they play their
It's
best.
terrifying. I mean, you know, I'm like, oh my god! Even if they lose their team, they've got another team. Like,
Right.
they've got a lot of guys on the sidelines. So hopefully, they get their key guys out there and can give everybody, you know, the show they deserve because they're a better team than what they've put up so far in their first couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
I think the key for program is they need to get their offense going. They have not played a full game all season. And the opener against X-Dawgs, they were shut down for almost the entirety of that game. And last week against Top Gun, they had a brilliant first half, 14 points at halftime. Nothing the rest of the way, except for scoring a safety for Top Gun. It's going to be the biggest battle will be the Knights defensive line versus the program's offensive line. The program's O-line just dismal last week against Top Gun's defense. 7 sacks allowed. The program's D-line also can cause issue for the Knights as well. They have the best in the league. You know they're going to go full throttle this week. This is a big game to them. They've
I don't
never
know
beaten
about
the
best in the
Knights.
league anymore.
You don't think so?
I don't know, man. I mean,
Mm.
Matt Reinhart's been in the competition for Dirt Bowl every year.
Yeah.
Wheeler is a freak.
That is
to say
true.
the least.
And we'll actually get to Broadex's defensive line after this one. I think in the end the program wins. I think their depth's a little more than the Red Knights have right now. I think their defense will step it up as well. But I expect a low-scoring game, especially if they can't play all 4 quarters on offense. I can see a 14-7 kind of game breaking out between these two.
That's a great score. It's a great score. Considering the Red Knights won by a point last week against the Spartans, I can see the program putting up 2 scores and keeping the Red Knights to 1. That's a great score right there.
I don't know. I kind of feel you guys might be underestimating Andy at times.
He's definitely got the work.
He in some opinions, maybe losing some of his deep throws, whatever you want to call it. But Andy's got a football mind. It doesn't take. It might take him a quarter or so to figure out something. I mean, like our loss, part of that was part of my fault with personnel on my linebacker field, and Andy finally figured it out, and that's how he got his touchdown. So I'll take the heat for most of that, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. If anything, it's going to be a 1-score game either way. I can't pick one or the other. Program is hungry. They need, to your point, they need to win.
They need the
To
win.
Yes.
spark things back up again. And he's playing with virtually almost a whole new squad, except for that big giant offensive line he has, which is tough. It depends who shows up hungriest to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the fence with that. I can't call one way or the other.
Tyler, who do you got winning?
Ultimately, I'm going to go ahead and say the Red Knights are going to win because I want the program to win. In my heart, I think they'll win. But when you look at it on paper, with the program taking those losses the way that they have, if they don't get the guys to show up, it's going to be a repeat of what we've seen. I know that the captains on that team will not allow anything like what we've seen, so I expect them to play better. But I also know, like Don said, the Red Knights are capable of putting up a couple points real fast when you don't even know what happened. So I think experience is going to come into play. The program's still feeling out their quarterback. They've got a lot to learn about each other. They haven't had a fully staffed team yet, so therefore they can't get that chemistry of knowing who's to the left and right until that occurs. So hopefully they get their guys there this week and put up a good fight. But I'm going to go ahead and give the Red Knights a little bit of the edge in this week. Just being honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't play favorites. I mean, my
Yeah.
favoritism, I'm going to go with the program. But when you put it on paper, I mean, the Knights give them, 3 to 6 points?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Arsenio, your call.
I like the Knights. And as good as the program could be, as good as the program should be, they're just not there yet. They need to right their ship immediately, or it's going to be a long season for them. I got by the Knights. I'll go low scoring, maybe a touchdown, 15-7, 15-6, something like that.
Okay. Paul?
I'm gonna go with the program. They have to win, and I think their backs against the wall. If they don't, the wheels are coming off, and it's just
That's a good point.
Just,
If they don't
Reminiscent
win
of that
this one,
2-7 season.
you know,
Ruckus.
I don't think that's not
It's just one after another after
This is
another.
just one of those things where they need this, and it's different between needing it and like it'd be nice to win this game. Like you need it, and the Knights aren't going to give it to them. That's for sure.
For sure.
They're going to have to earn that win. And like you said, Andy is a game caller. He's a game manager. Short quarters. You know, a lot of those
Every
things
possession
back.
counts.
It's got to be fast and furious for the Bow to win. That's why. I mean, I got to go with the Knights.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
Our next game of the day will be a rematch of the league championship, as well as the game of the week, as number 1 Broadaxe takes on number 2 Ruckus, 10:15 a.m. kickoff. Broadaxe is 11-0 all time against Ruckus. Ruckus' initial meetings against you guys, not very pretty, but that was a long time ago. A lot has changed. Broadaxe defeated you all 34-21 in the league championship. This is your all's first game actually since last spring.
Since the spring. Yeah.
Since the spring. Broadaxe is in game shape. I've already played 2 games. The rust for Ruckus is a little concerning for me. It's been a long time, 2-3 months, I believe. Ruckus, you guys have added some new players this year, you told me. Should I read them off on here? Danny Longer, Steven Renner, and Jazz Harrison.
Yeah. We added some of the old Knights guys. Kevin, Omar, Malcolm, who's very vocal. He's our spirited leader on defense. You know, we still have a lot of the same guys. It's a lot of the same core guys returning. So we definitely did some work. We're excited.
All right. I believe this is definitely your all's best team going into this season by a mile. Like last year's team, extremely good, the best at the time. This one, I feel like surpasses it.
We've gotten better, absolutely.
I think the key matchup is going to be Broadaxe's defensive line, which the best in the league.
Best in the league, hands down. How can you How can you argue it when you've got Wheeler on the left and Ryan on the right? Or Wheeler on the middle? I mean, honestly, Wheeler by himself
Somebody to
is
contend
a
with.
freak. Like this kid
Yes.
goes to the gym on a daily basis. He plays semi-pro. He literally breathes, lives, and sleeps football. Like, I don't blame him, you know. I love the game as well. He's got a different kind of dedication that I haven't seen in a long time. He's young. Don't get me wrong, Matt Reinhardt is a bull, and I don't know too many guys that can block him. But when you put both of them on the line, it's just freaky. I mean, it's literally, I feel like we could rush 2 and cause havoc all game long because Wheeler demands 2 people to block him at all times. And anyone who says otherwise is just lying. Like, that kid is a freak.
We're living in a fantasy world.
Yeah. I mean, he really does go above and beyond, and he doesn't have he doesn't quit. Like, he's one of those kids that can play all 4 quarters, go play another game, and be like, dude, when can we play again? Like, so
That's why he tried to recruit.
yeah, he's a game changer for real. I mean, I thought we had a pretty stout D-line before. We had some depth. We were able to rotate guys, but that's a solid pickup. I mean, anyone who sees it knows it. There's a couple of people not happy about it, but, you know, everyone's entitled to do what they want. We're all grown men.
That's why we have the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it helps us get better, and he's in a position where he feels like he can contribute more to a more consistent kind of program. So I'm happy to have him on board. I mean, he's the one who pointed out to me, listen, we got to go out there and stop playing like, you know, we like the X-Dawgs. You better go out here and like give a chance. And that was game changing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best D-line in the league.
Yeah, and last season when you guys did play a league title game, 8 sacks by Broadaxe in that game. Half of them came in the 4th quarter alone, with you guys wearing down your offensive line.
I definitely had a monster sack that game. Shout out to Joe. How do you say his last name? Cacchiola. Blew him up. Blew him up in the backfield. God rest in peace to his soul that game. That was a great play.
I think it's going to be another offensive battle potentially, but Ruckus' defense has been one of the reasons behind that. Not quite the defense it was last fall. The biggest gripe I had of you guys was that the offense couldn't move the ball while the defense was able to keep them in games. Seems like it's the opposite now. The offense is throwing it all over the place. They're able to move it, but the defense isn't playing as good.
Yeah. We didn't have a quarterback, to be completely honest with you. We had guys, I mean, I have to show love, and he's not even in the league anymore. Earl Thorne, like, that spring, he came in. He was one who really inspired me to kind of change the culture of the Buckets to be like, okay, well, let's not be a beer league team. Like, let's compete. Let's do this, but humbly do it. So we've done that quietly. We've made some changes. We've made some acquisitions, and we've gotten 100 times better. And even in the last spring, I think the most points scored against us was Little Lake. It was 31 in the regular season and more in the championship game. But that was it. I mean, I think the last 3 games, we let us a lot on defense. It was like 77 points in those 3 games. That's too much. And the first half of the season, it was 12, 6, 6, 6, 10. Top Gun shot us put up 26.
The most they had all season, actually.
But then we were putting up 24, points pretty consistently, and we weren't like, it wasn't like the Ducks playoff game where it's a 1-point game, or the Ducks regular first game of the season, where it's a 1-point game. They weren't close. We were beating teams because we had gotten so much better. We grown so much as a squad and as a family.
Yeah. I feel like in the end, though, I'm going to give Broad Axe the nod here by 2 scores. You guys are keeping close early, I believe. But if you can't stop the pass rush and nor their offense, I can't see a victory coming out of this. And with the 8 sacks they had in the championship game last year, with a D line that's
Improved 100%.
yes, I get the feeling this could be bad unless Ruckus' offensive line can hold up this time. Because the one observation I had was that they did wear them down as the game went on. Tyler, of course, we knew who you're going to go with here.
I'm just trying to get off work. I'm trying to put in 2 hours of PTO just to be there. So see how it goes, but hopefully my guys hold strong. If we lose, I'm blaming the fact that I wasn't there. So obviously,
John, who do you want to go with here?
With their history and what they've seen them play, and with the way Ruckus finished last year, and with the unknowns of this year, I mean, you guys added a lot of great pieces.
Week 1.
But it's week 1 for you guys. I haven't seen it. There's always that first week game phobia that everybody's got to shake off. Okay, I've had that first hit. I've had that. I'm not going to give you the margin you did. I think it's going to be a 1-score game, whether it's a field goal or 6 points. But I'm going to have to go towards Broad Axe, even though I want somebody to knock them off. No offense, Broad Axe. Love you guys, except a couple, but I love you guys. But it's time to see a new champ up top.
Okay. Kevin, we all know who you're going for. Ballman, what's your prediction on this one?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to if Scotty can get the ball off quick, what everybody's saying. If he gets pressure, he's got to get that ball off quick, get into the playmaker's hands. Mikey, the other Tyler, get it out, make him get the ball moving. Pretty close. I'm going to give it to Ruckus.
Okay.
Actually, based on what you said and thinking about it, although I'm leaning towards Broad Axe with the win, but if they do come out to what you just said and what we were just talking about, if they pull out the win and continue to build on that with the chemistry of the new players and everything, and the confidence and the unity grows, I see Ruckus making it a run for the championship again, whether it's between you 3 or whoever. But I see the top 3 teams, if they win and continue to build off that, sitting right at this table.
I'll be there for the playoffs.
We're a little less than 2 months away from playoff time, fellas.
It's time to request
It's got to be the third quarter. The third
Granted, I like
quarter
to
is going to be.
Halftime is everything. Halftime is everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Halftime
It's
is
not something on playoffs. We still got to play a game.
Which, to that point, I don't even think Ruckus will be there. Something's going to happen, whether hurricane hits, games are canceled.
Now, man, I think
They don't get to play
Friday
until
for-
like week 5.
Everybody lost 12.
Ruckus has been postponed to week 5.
We better get a refund.
That's that.
I want to get the game's going to come down to kicker, and we got one.
Yes.
That's how it's going to go. Short quarters, it's going to come down to a kicker.
Edwin was there
Kyle
last
Marshall,
There
no
you go.
Watch
pressure.
out for the Spanish guy. He was back.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not that reliable, but he was back.
Is that your?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He dances like a mom.
Oh, no. We got isolated.
I got it.
Most of the Hispanic guys got moves.
The next game is going to be the Program versus Brunswick Assassins, 11:30 a.m. kickoff. First ever meeting between these 2 squads.
You know?
rough debut for Assassins. But it's okay. Okay, God. Okay, I get it. The Assassins had a rough debut, 47-0 loss to Broad Axe. But I do know, to my knowledge, that they held a 3-hour practice last Saturday at my old elementary school, Pleasant Valley Elementary. The program will have to overcome playing 2 games that day. They have a appetizer warm-up game against the Knights, followed by the main entree of Brunswick Assassins coming up.
Scouting report.
That gives Assassins a chance to scout, and they should be fresh going into this one. If the program's defensive line can play up to par where it's supposed to be, this could be rough for the Assassins. The Assassins' offensive line obliterated by Broad Axe. I think as soon as the ball was in RJ's hands, you guys had him down for the sack.
Yeah, no time.
It could be just as bad if they don't have any linemen to come in for Assassins. The key to victory for them is going to be to shorten this game. They don't have the athletes to compete against program. They don't have the interior to compete against program. They don't have the depth either at the moment.
No.
And
We're still building.
I feel like if they play possession to get stop on defense, they can win. But
Stop.
program, big. I'm 34-0, not 47-0, but something like that. I can't imagine they'll wear themselves out. It is 2 games in one day. Program big though. Tyler, Spencer, sorry, I keep forgetting there's 2 Tylers. Your thoughts on this
You're
battle?
such a nice guy.
He was
I'm
reaching.
just-
I gotta be.
I-
3 of the
I
players
mean-
playing for my dad.
I mean, I'm not gonna, anything can happen. I mean, we have to play the game. It is football. But it's rough, man. I mean, they had a practice. That's great. I hope they fix some things. I hope they have 9 men on the field when they go to punt. But they have 9 men on the field at all times. I hope they have enough people to show up to play, and I hope they keep playing.
Yes.
Nothing's going to get easy this season.
No.
Everyone's going to come out there to beat you worse than what's been done the week before
Yep.
and the week before that. I mean, you have to accept it for what it is. Ask the Warriors; they'll tell you. Everyone's looking at you as a milestone. Like they can't wait to play you. They're trying to play their best game of the season, and if they don't, they're mad at themselves. So it's going to be tough because the program is looking to get their first win of the season. 9 o'clock right, and if they beat the Red Knights, that might play into the Assassins' advantage. If they lose to the Red Knights, the Assassins should be petrified.
Yeah.
If they beat the Red Knights, they could play to the Assassins' advantage because they may get lackadaisical. They do have to stop, sit, and watch a game that's going to be, start to finish a great game. So they may get bored somewhere along the lines, and something crazy might happen. But I see it as being, a chance for the program to fine-tune whatever mistakes they had in the first game, whatever mistakes they've had in the first couple of weeks. I'm not going to say that they're going to go out there and obliterate the Assassins because they haven't shown anything that says they're going to demolish that team. I give them 2 to 3 scores tops, if that. The Assassins will be in the game early on. Hopefully they can find some things to exploit the program, but it's going to be a rough game. Hopefully they can get a score. Not going to lie to you. When the Warriors got their first score, it was awesome.
Yeah.
As soon as they get their first score, everyone's going to be like, look what you did. You know what I mean? And it only gets better from there. It's not going to get easier.
Baby steps.
Baby steps is the way to
First
go.
score, something to build.
And it's the fall season. Had they come in the spring season, it might, it's pretty rough. But fall season, there's no hope barred. Everyone's out there to demolish. So hopefully they just keep coming out, putting up a fight, and do what they can.
Don, your thoughts?
Darn, that was a pretty good.
Just honest.
No, man, that just didn't leave me any room. I mean, the quarterback issue with the Assassins, the quarterback issue with the program. I definitely say the program winning, and to Tyler's point, depending on what happens in the first game. But I still think the program's going to come out with something to prove either way.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Assassins are going to be on the other end of that. Hilliard struggled, obviously, way too difficult against the Broad Axe. And if their defensive line shows up being the program, he's still going to have an issue. 3-hour practice, you can do a lot in 3 hours. So we'll see. But it's just going to be a rough year, and I hope they don't get discouraged and disappear, because every team here, for the most part, has been through that. My team, first year out, we didn't do anything in the spring. Second year out, we were in the championship in the B bracket. We had just over 500 record. Last year, we could only win 2 freaking games and still made it to the championship and lost that one. So we haven't made it to that next step to win that and then move on, like Kevin was saying earlier, to get to, a milestone to move up to the next step. So for Assassins, I mean, I feel for you, but it's going to be long, and don't take it to heart because nobody's out there just trying to be mean. It's football. So program over Assassins by at least 3 touchdowns.
Kevin?
Yeah, I got to go program. Over the Assassins, 3 touchdowns. You have to. Dude, Cortez, Swole, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
They
They
have
have to. I
athletes.
mean, they don't have a choice. Like they're on the cusp all day Saturday. They have to.
I'll go ahead and give the Assassins some credit where it may not be seen. They haven't had a lot of turnovers.
No.
They punt, which is cool. Everybody punts. You know what I mean? To take a sack may seem like trash on paper, but to knock through that pick means a whole lot more. And in the long run, when those games come down to giving the other team more opportunities, RJ's not throwing the ball away in bad situations. He's throwing it if he thinks he can get it in there. He's not making horrible throws. Whereas some decent quarterbacks will just put it up there, regardless of whether they think their receiver will get it or just they think they can get it there. So to that, he hasn't thrown. We got one. We ended the game on an interception. That was it. Last play of the game, we got an interception. So, I mean, to that point, like he's not a bad quarterback. He's a smart kid. It's just, can they block? Can they get the ball and playmakers?
And they just need to build off of that. If they're playing smart ball, you build off of that. You don't try to get in a shootout with anybody at all at this level. But it's going to be tough for the Assassins first season blues.
Yeah. Paul?
To piggyback off Tyler's point, I don't think it really matters what happens in the first game.
No.
So the program will win this game, and if they don't, they should probably stop playing. No offense to Assassins, but that's just how it is.
Oh, before the start is going to be really rough for the program.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
Been there, done that. One close games.
The next game for the day might as well be a second main event, really. Affiliates and X-Dawgs. 1 o'clock kickoff. The number 5 affiliates and 4 X-Dawgs. Rankings still haven't changed yet from the results from last week. First ever meeting between these 2 specific teams. We know they played X-Dawgs before on other teams. Affiliates had a bye last week, so they'll be well rested. X-Dawgs can have a very hard loss against Broad X. The key for affiliates will be their defensive line against X-Dawgs' offensive line. They obliterated the Warriors too. So now I know it's Warriors, but they still did it, and that's what we've seen out of them so far. They held them to 3 first downs, and honestly, I believe the Warriors had negative yards by the time the game was really over. The X-Dawgs centered the quarterback exchange was a little rough last week with some snaps being lobbed up in the air, softball pitch style. They could be in trouble with the timing is off again against a tough Affiliates defense. Affiliates themselves are a bit of a question mark. This will be their measurement of where they are with the rest of the league, in my opinion. As X-Dawgs is still a top team, easily top 3 or 4, give or take. To be honest, I'm having a hard time deciphering this one because I haven't seen enough of the affiliates to make a fair judgment. So I'm going to go with a vibe and give it to the affiliates. If X-Dawgs cannot get their timing down, affiliates will win this game. It'll be a 17-14 S game, in my opinion, but I feel like they can go either way. It's 50-50 on this one for me. Tyler, your thoughts? Spencer, that is.
It's definitely a tough game. I would have to give the edge to the affiliates by a score, maybe 2 tops. I don't think the X-Dawgs are out of the game. That's just me thinking that the affiliates are just as fast as us, if not faster, on both sides of the ball. They still have a lot to show the league, but we also have seen a lot from them, just not in league play. So you can't take the fact that they won tournaments and say that that means something, because we've seen the Red Knights go number 2 in the nation and not win when it counts in league play. So I'm not taking anything away from the affiliates. We all know they have great athletes. X-Dawgs are definitely going to have a chip on their shoulder after this week. The affiliates have a super chip on their shoulder because they didn't get to play last week.
Yeah.
So They're not going to be the way we were and not come out physical in the first half. They're going to be physical from the first whistle to the last whistle.
Yep.
So it's going to be a tough game through and through. If it doesn't rain, expect to see some more action from the X-Dawgs. That hindered them a lot last week. Matt, still recovering from his injury, was agile and able to make moves, but didn't want to throw the ball as much because it was wet. If it's a good day, it's going to be a tough game. I think the closest it can be is 1 score. I think the furthest it'll be is 2, maybe 10, not 10 points, sorry, 17. Yeah, so anywhere from 7 points to 17. It could go either way, but I'll just give the affiliates the edge for this week.
Okay. Don?
Everything he said, except the fact that I'm just gonna go with the X-Dawgs. I know the affiliates are good. Both teams are actually really good. They both got chips, like you said. Like I said, whether the rain out, the loss, there's the athletes are there by far on both teams. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see it ending close to a tie.
Really?
Or end in a couple overtime periods.
We haven't had a tie in a long time. Anybody name the last time this league had a tie?
No.
Couldn't have been us.
No, there wasn't. There's not been any ties.
Was Nighthawks
Nighthawks,
Ruckus
yes, that's
fall
right.
2014,
Because
26-26.
we tied, and then because we were just going to play each other against
Screwed
playoffs.
up the playoffs.
Yeah.
God, that
That
screwed the
messed up
playoffs
everything.
so bad.
We won that playoff game.
I
That was
think
like
Yeah, we found that at the end.
Yeah, oh, it was a punt return.
I
Yeah,
remember
we
that.
got by 2 scores late.
I definitely see it going into overtime. I'm gonna call overtime on that game.
Savage. That'd be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
The league deserves more overtime games.
Yes.
No, I had too many last
You
year.
gotta finish them, Don.
No such thing. No such
Hey,
thing.
I'll tell you what.
More
I'll wait till
football
if he
is
does
better.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Don.
I'll wait till you get to our game.
Okay.
I'll say anything.
Kevin, your thoughts?
Affiliates and X-Dawgs, that's going to be tough. One of the biggest things that I think is the interior play for both teams. And the affiliates D-line has the potential to be nasty.
True.
The X-Dogs have probably one of the best defensive ends in the league.
Sure.
Um,
Go ball.
yeah, again. Moose, you know. and so
Yeah, they are good.
You know, so that's going to play big, and whether or not, you know, Matt's running around trying to buy himself time. Same with Tay. So this is running around, you know, trying to buy time, trying to make plays with his legs, and then both teams play disciplined ball. Advantage, it's tough to say. I think I'm gonna have to go affiliates. I think it's gonna be a 1-point game. I'm gonna call it just. It's gonna be probably one of the best games of the season.
I think it's gonna be the game of the day.
It's gonna be the game of the month. So mark your calendars. So I think it's gonna be a slugfest. I think it's gonna be just a fun game to watch. Good luck to both teams. It's gonna be a fun game.
Alright. And Ball, we know who you're going to go with here. So we're going to move on to the second to last game of the day. TMT and Spartans, 2:15 p.m. kickoff. TMT ranked number 3 still. Spartans around number 8. Second ever meeting between these two. TMT defeated the Spartans 20-14 in overtime last season. So far, what I saw of TMT in week 1, they don't seem like the TMT of old. The offense doesn't seem as explosive. Spartans seem to be in the same spot. They've been stagnating a little bit ever since the championship game last fall in the B bracket. I think another close game, however, is very possible. The offense is a must-lead. They're going to go into a score against the Knights is what killed them. TMT's defense versus Spartans' offense will be the biggest matchup in this one. TMT has to go in to play lights-out defense at will. And the Spartans' offense has struggled to score. TMT, I believe, has better athletes, but the Spartans have better discipline and better coaching, in my opinion. Spartans can win this
You
game.
got something right here.
I knew it was coming too.
Yeah, I appreciate the kudos, sir, but
Well, TMT doesn't have a coach, so you're
I
they have a captain.
I make advisory calls, but a lot of the credit has to go to my offensive captain, which is Adam, and then Henry. Henry, and when he's not on the field, he and I will talk, and then we talk to Adam and they come off and we confer. So the credit doesn't go all to me. Yes, I helped with drawing up some of the plays, things of that nature, but it's a group effort. It's just not me.
Yeah.
I helped and more establish the culture of the team, that no drama, no that, just let you play shit on the field, that type of thing. But we're currently working in a new defensive captain, which was Chris. He's moving up some to the line, and Josh Wills, who came from Market Street Mayhem, is also moving into that role. And I think our defense stepped it up last week and really made a difference.
Oh, yeah, you gave up one score.
Yeah, and that came late, I think, in the fourth quarter.
It doesn't matter. You gave up one score.
Yeah. So I mean, we still need to finish, and in any game, you got to put up more than 7 points to win.
Yes.
8 will do it.
I stand corrected. But there's some things working on. But this week we're going to have some weapons that weren't there that last week. I have a new safety. He's 6'4". He's got probably about a 6.5 foot wingspan, and he's what's your safety's name? Chaz. He's probably just as fast as him, if not faster.
Chaz is old, man.
Well, yeah, this guy's 20. So.
Chaz doesn't do anything.
You know?
Listen, he makes some plays. I'll call him out because that's my man. Chaz just scares you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to throw it around because he will go get it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna Chaz is begging us, can I do something? Because if our defensive line doesn't make plays, or no one wants to really throw the ball in that area, kind of like with Zeke, but Chaz is just he's like a fox. I consider him he's a fox on the field, man. He doesn't say much.
No,
he's one of the quietest guys on the field. If you say something though, you'll hear from him. But he's one of the quietest guys on the field, and he does his job. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's he didn't really have to do much because most of the job's already done, so nothing really gets to his level. Although he missed your flag last week too.
Yes, he did.
And neither of us were happy about it.
But the safety, I'm hoping he lives up to the expectations. He went to school. He had lots of film tape. He was going to go to a D2 school. He broke his leg, so they go ruin that. But this was years ago, so he's 21 or 22 now. I forget. But with him, some of the other cover guys that we picked up from the Ducks and whatnot, I think that's going to keep us within range to win games. But to your point, our total offense is going to have to put up more than 7 points.
And that's the
Or
thing.
8 to Tyler's point.
And in my opinion, this is going to be a low-scoring game. The key for you all to win this game is to keep it short with TNT. Play possession, execute enough.
And we don't have to worry about Wheeler anymore.
Yeah, that's going to be a big factor too. I'm going to go, like I said, TNT in a close, low-scoring game. Tyler, Spencer, who do you want to go?
I think it's going to be a really good game. Spartans gave 8 points last week. So regardless of what you know about them and what you believe in them, they only gave up 1 touchdown to a great team.
Yes.
Regardless of whether they're ashamed of their former selves or not, being the Red Knights. It's going to be a close game. I think TNT goes into this game thinking Spartans are a joke. I watched them make some terrible play calls the week before that they made. Some of the things that they did in the red zone. So do they come out here with the intent to win and punish? Is the deciding factor. Or are they going to come out here and think, oh, it's just another bum team on our way? Because they have bigger goals, as they will say. They want to beat us. They want to beat the top tier teams. They want to win the championship. So Spartans are just another bump on the log, bump in the road kind of thing, which could be easily overlooked considering the fact they only gave up a score last week. So I think it's kind of reminiscent of Top Gun program. Spartans have the chance to keep it closer than people think. And I think if they go out there and make some defensive stands and can put up 2 scores, it might be enough to win the game. It's going to come down to those extra points, though, if they only put up 2 scores. So I want to give it to the Spartans, but I think it's going to be neck and neck. I mean, I'm playing a little bit of favoritism, but I think the Spartans definitely have a legitimate chance to go out and shock everybody and win this game.
All right.
We did have 4 or 5 interceptions against Sandy last week.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's huge.
Kevin?
I haven't seen TMT play.
I've been watching the live stream. I had half a
It's
game.
just I was on
Yeah, half a
week 1. We had a lot. I was on vacation, so I wasn't watching anything. Because I don't like you guys that much. But I haven't seen TNT yet. They're without some pieces, with some new pieces, from what I understand.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the Spartans, with the newer pieces. He picked up some Ducks, which are they're athletes. They always put up a fight. This is going to be another one of those deciding games. So it's a big week for a lot of different teams. That if you guys are going to pull this out, you need to finish. You need to keep the game short. You need to keep it close. Ball control. Don't try to outrun those guys. With that being said, kind of to wrap it up, I say TNT by a score. For right now, I just think there's too much speed there.
All right. Ball.
Respectable.
I haven't seen much of TNT this year either, but just based on previous experience, CJ will hang his hat that he beat the X-Dawgs in the He did.
I was there. I'm a witness.
I was not playing. I was in.
You haven't heard?
But I think the Spartans are looking pretty good. I think they're on the rise. I think they got some good athletes. I'm gonna get a little advantage to the Spartans.
I like it. I like it.
Not much, just a little bit.
Just enough, right?
Just enough.
It's-
I think
the
it's
game's
gonna
in
be
their
a
hands.
1 point on Spartans' favor.
The game is in their hands, ultimately.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Our final game of the day is a rematch of the game of the century last year, as Top Gun, number 7 in the rankings, takes on number 10, the Warriors. 3:30 p.m. kickoff. Warriors are 1-0 against Top Gun all time, scoring their only win in franchise history last season in a 20-19 score. I don't know what I was going with there. After a Will Dayhoff pick six and a Clay Guard an extra point. Top Gun is a way better team though currently, in my opinion. Warriors offense buried against affiliates. However, a week off has allowed them to regroup and put together another plan. Top Gun's defense is playing incredibly well right now, however. They kept TNT at bay for most of their game. They manhandled a program for 8 sacks. Warriors defense did play good against affiliates, all things considered. It was a total mismatch, but they did play well in that one. Top Gun's offense, however, is better. Whenever Ricky's on it, he's really on it. He can move his arms and legs. Their line was able to play a lot better last week. Timing was completely down 100%. If things haven't changed, I think the Top Gun's defense will have no problem shutting down the Warriors. The pass rush last week was completely insane to watch, and this week it could be an even bigger mismatch for the boys in blue. Top Gun's offense, like I said, capable of putting up points. Warriors defense is stout. Not great, but it did hold the affiliates down for a majority of their game out in the end zone. I'm going to go with Top Gun, however, in a lower scoring defensive game, more like a 21-7 kind of score I can see coming out of this one. And I think their rush over the Warriors' problems will be the key to victory overall. Tyler, Spencer?
I think Top Gun has the potential to have a coming out party. I think they have the opportunity to go out and put a multi-score win, 2 to 3 touchdowns would be like awesome for them.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of torn. The other half of me says the Warriors have an opportunity to go out here and get the biggest win of their history since their biggest win of their history. No pun really intended. If they go out here and beat Top Gun, that's just another stepping stone for them. Top Gun went out there and just beat the program. So if the Warriors beat Top Gun, they got to be thinking, hey, we get enough to beat a team that beat a team. It's all looking for the positive outcome. Ultimately, I think it's going to be Top Gun by 2 to 3 scores. I think the Warriors have the chance, to keep it closer, but if Ricky goes out there and does what he's been doing against these top tier teams, nothing says that the Warriors stand a chance. They've got more athletes, and I think they'll play a better game than what they've played so far this season. But Top Gun definitely, doing that thing. No Tom Cruise.
No?
I'm gonna go along with Tyler so far. Top Gun maybe 14, 17 to 7, something like that. To Tyler's point, you know, Ricky's got it going on with his guys practicing all the time. Picked up
3
those-
days a week, I heard.
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, picked up those guys from the Ducks, very good tight end, Vincente. And then what's his name, the other little short guy that's the,
Gary Little Jr. has hands.
yes.
That kid is short and chubby. He
Yeah.
doesn't look fast, but I swear to God, if you
Can't
throw it, he's
underestimate
gonna catch it.
Yes.
He's gonna
Anywhere
catch it.
close. Anywhere
Yes.
close.
He's gonna catch it, man.
And then the other thing is the Warriors are still struggling at quarterback.
Yes.
So with that being said, I think that's enough to just say give it to the top guy, like I said.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's been hard for Ryan Brown to find time in that pocket. He's gonna
Yes.
get smothered every time.
yes.
Kevin?
Brian Brown needs to be on the damn line.
Oh.
I said
I'm
it.
gonna say, be completely honest with you, he's on the ball too long. He's not mobile enough. He's bigger than their offensive lineman. You got John Shope on the squad now. He used to QB for us.
Yes.
You got Cody Savory on the squad now. He used to QB for us. He QBs for Greensboro in the alumni game.
And I played with him in high school.
Like, give it up. Like, you're one dimensional. They have a lot of issues just internally.
Yes.
They lost CJ. I think he's with the
He was
program.
he played
Got
for
hurt.
last
Yeah.
year.
They
Better
lost
than
And he's got hurt his shoulder.
they lost Robinette. He was, I guess, he's playing tight end for them in week 1. We picked him up.
Who?
Robinette.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a good pickup for us. But there's a lot of like internal issues there that they need to kind of come around. And
Absolutely.
Brock Klein, you need to take over that team.
I think it's just a little too friendly in Greensboro.
I think when they're
They're all
running,
friends.
it's
They're all
growing pains
friends.
now. We went through the same thing. It was a
Yeah.
lot of like, I don't want to offend you.
You
But
gotta-
now, like, we're at the point now where it's like, you can't.
No, it's about putting the proper personnel and the athletes on the field and the matchups to take those
Yeah,
matchups. You may start somebody this week, but guess what? This matchup doesn't suit you, so we're going to start somebody else.
Yeah.
And you can't, and that's the way I address our team. I'm sure you are now. The best players at the time of the game to match up with the athletes have to play. Unfortunately, you guys have enough to where you match up with everybody. Some of us can't.
Most of the time, teams still give us trouble, but there's plenty of times where we sit back and we're like, hey, listen, we got to get some more speed out on the field, and our older guys will be like, I understand, and they'll go down and rotate with the D line because we're not taking them out the game, but they understand the importance of the situation. It's like, hey, listen, you know, this guy's got you by a couple steps. You know, do what's best for the team. So I think the Warriors picking up McLean is great.
Yes.
They got a leader on that team now.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. He's a freak. He's just got to learn flag football in a sense. He's still involved if it's you know his football prowess. So
And that's a big adjustment.
yeah.
I think people realize that is coming into the flag from tackle.
full contact and being a beast that he is as well. You know, he's used to getting hit. So
But I've got
That's why I thought the program should have stuck with that other quarterback they had, because he could get the ball down the field. He was tall, but they didn't give him enough opportunity to make the same adjustment that
he
you
didn't
were
have
talking
he
about.
didn't have the composure.
You don't think?
He didn't.
no, they just laughed.
No.
The program does. But I got Top Gun. All that in that game.
Ball?
I got Top Gun also, but I believe the Warriors are going to score more than what everybody's thinking. I think it's going to be a shootout. No defense. There's going to be no defense.
But that's the thing with Top Gun. It's
Top Gun is
like,
gonna
do they play score for score, or do they go out there and
I don't know. After what I saw last week, their defense is stepping out.
Yeah, but
They won without Cato.
Yeah, you know, that's what
They won without Cato.
So we were on Joey's page, by the way. Like I just shared it on the league page. So it's been quiet in here.
That's
With Cato out, I mean, if he comes back healthy, that's just another dimension to their game.
Yeah.
I mean, they can potentially
That's
super
big for them winning without him for
back
sure.
down in the latter half of the season. Yeah, absolutely. But the way Top Gun's defense played against the program, they're just too hyped.
Yeah.
They're too hyped right now.
They come off that win.
Yeah, they're just gonna.
I can definitely see
I
Warriors
think it's
putting up
gonna,
two
it
scores.
might hurt them a little bit coming off
Some
coming off.
overconfidence issue.
Yeah, because they're gonna look at
They still have some
Yeah.
they're
composure.
gonna like everybody's looking at the Assassins.
Yeah, you still have some
Like everybody
composure.
looks at the Assassins one way, everybody looks at the Warriors another way.
Sure. But to Kevin's point, I think they're out to prove something now. They're not going in, I don't think they're going to go in overconfident. I think they're going in hungry because they beat the program They know they
Yeah.
beat them. Now they're hungry and they want to bring out the beast and keep winning.
Yeah.
Hey, if we can beat these, let's put them away. Let's put them away quick.
Or if they come out with the same problems that they've had every week, where they just barely get it done. Where's Mike skate by?
Could be.
Yeah.
Shoot out with like 4 touchdowns total.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Something like
saying?
that. Yeah.
Well, that's
Bunch of incomplete passes and then a touchdown.
yeah. That is actually it for games this week. Any final words, Tyler Spencer? Shout outs, anything like that?
Definitely had somebody I wanted to mention and I completely blanked on it. Once again, shout out to Pee Wee Stubbs for great service. Even though he was only out there for 2 games,
Yeah.
guys still needed food and
Yeah.
needed to be fed. So we
Great
appreciate
job.
that as always. We appreciate the referees for being out there. We had a nice, great prayer huddle last week.
It's awesome.
Texas Relief.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
And
Recognize
for the league as a whole, just the love of thy neighbor, that teammate, that opponent, just respect everybody. So
Absolutely.
just shout out to the league. I think everything's going great. We're all growing. Thanks Tony's. It's just been great, man. Glad we could be a part of it. So
Don't go to sleep on the Spartans. We're gonna learn to finish.
shout
We're
out
gonna
to
learn to
the
put more points on the board. More to come. Stay tuned.
I'd like to give a shout out to Blackman Affiliates. It was his idea actually on the
for
comment
the
page
prayer.
last week for the prayer sessions at the end of the games.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to those who are being harmed right now by Hurricane Harvey and those in Florida right now who are about to go through Irma
Yes.
this weekend. Please be
And
safe.
Jose right behind it.
And Jose behind it. Rough times ahead for everybody. Wishing the best to all of you all out there. Kevin?
I want to get on the damn field.
Get their
You wanna-
Field.
get their sponsors out there real quick.
Yeah, thanks 28 South, Utonics, Hose LLC, Build Maryland. Thanks for supporting us and letting us do what we do. It's definitely it's different maker. Having those guys in our corner, having places to go for our banquets and things like that.
Well,
I want to just piggyback on the weather situation. There's a lot of stuff going on, not just the hurricanes. Half the country's on fire right now. So there's a lot of things going on that we should probably think about. Besides football, keep that in our thoughts and our prayers. Phillips Office Solutions, Quest Embroidery, Sarah Miller.
and I want to give 2 more shout outs. One to Game Time Hagerstown. We just began a new season of Monday Night Kickball every Monday at the fairgrounds, 6 p.m. Kickball, $35 for a whole season to play. Come on out, it's a lot of fun. I've been playing the last 2 seasons. I'm having a blast, man. I'm enjoying it out there. I'm terrible at it, but it's fun. It is great. You get to hang around with people, make new friends. It's a blast. Game Time Hagerstown Kickball, Monday nights, 6 p.m., Fairgrounds in Hagerstown, as well as Tony's Pizzeria, located at 14224 Pennsylvania Avenue, Hagerstown, Maryland. Our host for Washington County Flag Football Live for the last 3 weeks. We love you, Tony's. Thank you for the food, the beer, and the service. And for that is it for this week. Washington County Flag Football is played every Saturday at Marty Snook Park in Hagerstown, Maryland. Games this week are at 9 a.m., 10:15, 11:30, 1 p.m., 2:15, and 3:30. Quarters will be 12 minutes this week, much to the happiness and joy of all involved. And so come on out this week for a fun football frenzy. And to those watching, good night.